Gold Eater, episode 3. From what I've seen episode 3 and 4, but let me talk about 3 right now. And I'm trying to... Oh, yes, right. Episode 3. Alyssa, Linka, Lindo, and Sokka, you go on to fucking protect this ship and keep all the origami monsters away. Which at that point, honestly, the most I can say about this entire episode is the fact that the first part, instead of Alyssa pretty much just saying, like, listen, I'm here, I have to protect these people. Honestly, they may not have liked it, but then that man would have gave her things of trying to attack Malenka a little bit more validation. Especially since he feels the same way as what she does, to where, like, he cares for human life and shit. And that is a bit fucked up, the way how that she sort of did that. But all in all, it's like that's sort of how that happened. A crazy ass fight scene happens throughout this entire episode. They do successfully protect the aircraft, even though they did lose the helicopter, because I believe that the thing that they saw off in the distance was a real fucking god origami. One of those big ass things, which that it's as big as the plane in which that they're riding in, which is really fucking crazy. And honestly, there really isn't too much else, man, to really talk about, except for the fact that, you know, is that they do their job, they take everything down, and honestly, every question that pretty much I wanted to ask was summed up in episode 4. I know that this isn't necessarily a good thing, but fuck it. Let me talk about episode 4 too. Episode 4 was them getting back, Linka and Alyssa being put on the same team with I forget a boy's name from the first episode, but obviously everybody looks like their video game counterparts now, and everybody's a team. Kota goes on to... Oh yeah, that's his name. Sorry, I forgot that. But Kota takes Linka over, and he does the exposition dump of this episode, dropping a lot of information about what is going on with the world, what's going on with everybody, and honestly, it's like how it took him to go see his mother, and honestly, how everybody feels about God Eaters. And honestly, from how it seems as though is that Kota's mother really doesn't want him to become a God Eater. Even though that is necessarily fucked up, but at the same time, it cuts into that. But as this episode goes on, it's a normal training thing of Sakuya's is a really good fucking teacher, or at least everybody breaks off into 2 teams. Linka and Sakuya, which honestly, that's a perfect team, because Sakuya actually takes this whole teacher thing really fucking seriously. You have Lindo and fucking Alyssa, and honestly, Lindo just really doesn't really care, just so long as he doesn't have to hold anybody's hand. And Soma and Kota. And I will be fair, Soma really is fucking good, but at the same time, his whole thing is that he really... I mean, sure, he... Like, where for him, it's a step in, take down thing, and he doesn't seem like he's somebody who doesn't have too much problem, like, saving everybody, but at the same time, he doesn't want this to become, like, a very continuous thing of having to save his teammates, and sort of ask the question of how they sort of, like, have to, asking, Cole to, like, if he's really ready to be a God Eater, or pretty much give as well. Now that's his harsh side, but then there's also there's a hint of like a teacher in there too, of him going on and asking of him telling Linka, you have to take it down in 1 hit, you know, even though he called him an amateur, but still, you know, that is his thing. You have to take it down in 1 hit, which really isn't bad. However, this episode, it does sort of end in a very tragic note, which is really fucked up to sort of really think about it, because earlier on they did talk about like this crazy base, which was meant to house all of all of the remnants of humanity, even though that doesn't make any fucking sense because that thing, it doesn't really look all that big. But as they revealed at the end of this episode, is that people from outside of the wall, they are tested. They have this tag test. And with the tag test, they actually see if these people are capable, or at least like if they have the capability of becoming compatible with a God Eater, or at least with a God Eater bracelet. And what fucking kills me there is that if you are the only people who stay there are people who are actually compatible with it. And the reason behind that is, or at least what I can guess is that if somebody, or all the families that actually live there, if somebody there dies, then like they will have children, and the children will grow up, and then they can also become God Eaters as well. Sadly enough, though, that is a bit fucked up to turn away people who pretty much like who that Linka and the crew just fucking saved and helped and everything, and then had to have to turn them away because that there's nothing that they can do about it. I mean, yes, I understand that this world life is harsh, but at the same time, it's like, that's really fucked up to sort of look at somebody and say that shit. To just be like, okay, you made this strenuous thing, and we are trying to save all of the world, but necessarily we don't want you here. But at the same time, though, I do look at this series and I'm like, the shit which sort of caused this problem in the first place. Actually, I get the feeling that the people who actually are the higher ups, the people who are working with the God Eaters and everything, throughout every single one of these flashbacks, they slowly show that most of the problems tend to fucking come from them. To where they found these origami samples, and then they just keep fucking with them until they grow and alter and change, and then they bind together, and then they almost attack them. And before they almost die, they fucking, like, one of the guys, I forget the main director, he sends a fucking email, not necessarily telling the truth, but sort of painting a white lie and saying, like, we are very close to finding a way for this to save humanity, even though this shit almost fucking killed him. But then again, science, I guess. But until then, that is what I got to say about that. Please tell me what you think about this down in the comment section. Catch you guys on the next John Graves show. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I'm out, and I'll see you next time. Sorry this took so long to get most of these God Eater episodes out. I sort of forgot about that shit. But yeah, I'll see you next time. I'm out.